Hello! We're doing another speed paint this time. A warning as usual, if you're photosensitive, there may not be as many flashing colors as we won't have any access to overlay layers, but things will probably still go by fast as I zoom or flip the canvas. Last time, I jokingly suggested that we do a speed paint in MS Paint, as people often attribute stylistic elements to brushes and programs. The comments and my Patreon supporters seemed to think it was a fun idea, so I went with it. We're using the pre-Windows 11 version of MS Paint for this, so it doesn't actually have any layers. Likewise, it's the post-Windows XP MS Paint, so it's not exactly nostalgic either. It's just the most easily accessible version. This isn't about to be photorealistic Santa Claus, and not just because this version of MS Paint doesn't let me access the enhanced spray can settings. I think. I did try to look. I start out by just generally blocking out some shapes and colors. I wasn't really sure what shapes or colors I was going to use yet. That's why the rocks are purple at first. I kind of sketch, but not really. I end up just kind of splatting figures on the canvas. The lack of layers does hit me pretty hard, not just because I can't exactly sketch everything out the way I usually do, but also because it becomes harder to correct mistakes and harder to color correct. Having nothing to rely on to fix my bad color scheme is something that I'm definitely unused to. I didn't really think about the style in which I was drawing the cats or their anatomy before I started as well, so you'll see me doing a lot of trying to correct their bad posture despite having to change the background alongside them. I think the most obvious side effect of not using layers here is the fact that there's no clear light source. I just didn't think of it the way that you might when working traditionally, even though I really should have. Are they backlit? Is there a light between them? Is it above them? It's nonsense, and by the time I noticed, I was way too far done to fix it. Oops, I forgot to say anything about the subject of this picture. This is Maple Shade and Apple Dusk. I figured this could be a Maple Shade drawing, as every other video I'm making this month has something to do with Maple Shade. You're, welcome? Maple Shade January, the least alliterative holiday ever. Most of my time here is spent with the marker tool. It is a square-shaped brush, which is my favorite shape of brush, and it's just a little bit transparent and has sharp edges that haven't been anti-aliased. I wish I could control how transparent it was, but oh well. You see me actually using it to poorly mix colors a few times here. There's a second universe where I used the crayon instead. If I'm doodling in MS Paint, there's a really high likelihood that I'm using their crayon. Not that I don't appreciate the old pixel art pencil, but it just kind of loses its charm if you're not working in an older version. The tools in MS Paint also just don't really look good together on average. They have different levels of anti-aliasing. Some of them are really, really fuzzy, like the pen brush, and then others aren't fuzzy at all. It makes a messy picture in the end. While I could have brought out the crayon, I think I would have to do a crayon pass where I use the crayon on top of everything, just to make everything look even and normal. It's also unideal in Paint to work at a higher resolution, as zooming out past 100% doesn't really sample your image well, and you can miss a lot of details. Not that that was too much of a problem here. This is actually a rather large canvas on a very, very big screen. But it was further hindered by the fact that you can only make the brushes so big, even if you're using Control Plus like I was. I'm not really afraid of ruining things that I've already painted. Maybe it would have been better for me to paint her out ahead of time with the tortoiseshell spots and the white tail, but I felt nothing just kind of slapping them on and fixing them later. Oh, another thing that sticks out about using MS Paint is the complete lack of pen pressure. When I don't have pen pressure, a lot of what I end up doing is drawing a line and then correcting it with a second line of the color in a bigger shape. Additionally, I do this a lot when I still have pen pressure, too. Covering up parts of the line I don't like is way easier than just drawing a new one. The end result here ends up being far messier and more imperfect than my usual, but things looking messy is fun sometimes. I don't really value perfection in art regardless. I mean, I'm annoyed with the fact that I somehow went on autopilot so fully that I forgot to make a light source, but going on autopilot while drawing is also the most fun, falling back on what you find easy and just zoning out. That's all I did here. Not counting the bit where I got mad at Appledusk and cut his arm off. That wasn't autopilot, that was me beating up an MS Paint cat. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep the arm or not, so I just kind of put it to the side. Once I start blocking in the rocks that they're standing on, it becomes super obvious that I didn't set up a light source. What is going on there? general, the whole background is phoned in to begin with, but it's MS Paint, it's fine. I probably would have just used my posterized leaves brush again if I was in Clip anyways. My beloved posterized leaves. This speed paint is sped up about 20 times? Here's the end result. Maple Shade and Apple Dust go fishing, also known as cats.png.